Saturday card, and we're going to start with Arizona, Minnesota. Minnesota Vikings opened up at -4.5. Now there's -6s everywhere except Pinnacle and Heritage are hanging 5.5. So the total opened at 43.5. It's still there everywhere except at Pinnacle where it's 42.5. Cardinals opened with a 17-13 win at home to the Chargers. Followed that up with a 30-26 home loss to the Raiders. Murray did not look good against the Raiders. Did not look good. You talked about the trouble that they were having with the offensive line, and it was 3 and 8 for 12 yards, sacked twice. Did not look good. Vikings opened up with a 34-25 win at the Saints and followed that up with a 25-19 win at home versus the Seahawks. Slaughter looked really good. Slaughter, Manning, and Cousins have all looked good, but especially Slaughter, 11 for 13, 116 yards, 1 TD in this Cardinals-Vikings game. Vikings opened up at -4.5, now -6 at most books. Donnie, you have a move here?
Yeah, you know what's interesting with that, too, because he talked about it a couple of times during the week. Very rare in the preseason, because this game actually got up to a 7 line, and I agree just with the buyback getting it under, because if you're going to give somebody 7 in the preseason, don't you just take it automatically and say, you know what, I'm just going to let the chips fall where they may. I don't have the line out yet, but I'm assuming once it comes out, I like the Vikings in the first half in this game. I think they're going to roll out their starters to at least get some, good vibes going, so to speak, towards the regular season. Kirk Cousins will roll a little bit, and I'm just not happy with what I see from the first wave of Cardinals players. They're going to get a pretty good defense to go up from, so maybe Kyler Murray struggles again. I don't think they're going to open up the playbook in Arizona in Week 3 just to get him some confidence. I think they're going to wait till Week 1. I like the Vikings' first half look in this game. I think they should be up a touchdown at the half.
Up a touchdown at the half. I'm looking forward to see what that line is. There it is. Minnesota first half as a strong look from Donnie on Saturday morning. Whale Capper, what do you think?
So I'm definitely team Slaughterhouse. I'm part of the Slaughter Hive. This guy is going to be the backup quarterback in Minnesota, and the heir apparent to Kirk Cousins when that contract is over. So. I think he's good. I think he's going to be able to score some points. I get why the Vikings are a favorite. That said, the fact that anyone is a 6-point favorite in preseason NFL is kind of ludicrous. Even if the Vikings are up by 21 at some point, they're going to let their guard down and bring this back to a 1-score game. It seems reasonable. So I'm not taking any pregame action on this. I'm just going to look out for Vikings to have a 2-score lead and maybe try to snap up some line value on the Cardinals at that time, because live lines could trickle into -14, minus double digits, and that's anytime we've seen that outside a handful of 3 or 4 games this entire preseason so far, we've seen the team come from behind and close that gap. So I'll be looking live for a Cardinals position, as stinky as that sounds.
Well, and look at this total. You have Pinnacle over 42.5. They're not moving it up, and they're leaving that at -130. So they don't want the action. They don't want the act. That to me says bet the over. And I'm not saying that I'm going to do that, but that's what it says to me when Pinnacle won't move it off of 42.5 and will keep it heavily juiced. What do you think about this total?
I mean, it makes sense to see where it's put out there, but that's more of like a regular season total where I'm going to get 4 quarters out of starters. And it's hard to just put. I know the younger kids are playing a little bit better, and Arizona's still going to want to play 4 quarters trying to find their football team. But 40, it's tough for me, Jimmy, to take a 44. Everything has to go right in the preseason for you to get that 46, 47, 48 type point range.
Mm-hmm. And it's 44. Yeah.
You see a 44 in the preseason, that's an auto under.
Yeah.
The only thing that's stopping me is I believe in Slaughter. I believe in Minnesota's offense. They are trying. Again, we go back to Bills and Vikings are 2 of 5 teams that I have legitimately trying this preseason. So they could score 30. I mean, we've seen it. We saw it against the Saints, and we saw what the Raiders did to this Cardinals team in preseason week 2. The Cardinals defense were barely resistant. So, otherwise, this is an auto under.
Interesting, because just what Pinnacle is doing is enough to keep me off of it and scare me in a different direction. I just had DJ Big Boss Trot Wham and Mr. Gokster roll into the spot. Great to see you guys. Thank you for joining us.